Hi, I just wanted to talk a little bit about puppy house straightening. Sorry, I'm in the van and the rain is pelting off the van, but I just thought it might be easier than doing it where the puppies are. So regarding house training, when it's heavy like this, it's not so easy. But when just normal rain, it should be easy. I'm gonna explain more. So first of all, the puppies won't know where they're supposed to go and where they're not supposed to go. That's our rule, not theirs. They have no concept of, I'm not supposed to go there. What does happen is they condition at just a couple of weeks old, if not sooner, to leave their nest. So they leave their bed to go as far away as possible to poo and pee. And before that, mum actually makes them poo and pee. They can't do it themselves. She makes them do it and then she eats it. Pleasant. So as soon as they're able, they will leave the nest to go and pee and poo to try and keep the nest as clean as possible. And mum will also clean up any messes that they make along with me. So that's instilled. It's an instinctive thing. Then once they get a little bit older, like I say, I tend to have a whelping area and a wee area. So the puppies will leave their whelping area to go to the toilet, which I tend to put paper down on there just to keep it clean, so it makes it easier. Again, the puppies have no concept that they're supposed to be going on paper. They just know that they want to leave their bed. Regarding house training when you get home. So the times that puppies are likely to go to the toilet are just as they've woken up. Every time, as soon as they've woken up, they'll need a wee. When they've just eaten, sometimes within half an hour to an hour, sometimes sooner, they'll need to poo or wee, or both. Usually in the first few minutes of play, they'll need to wee because the excitement tends to make them want to wee. And when they've just had a drink, they might also want to wee. But the waking up is the biggest time. They're very much like children, where they don't really have the bladder control or bladder function to know when they're going to want to go to the toilet in advance. So what tends to happen is they need to go, oh my god, I need to go now. And they just go where they're standing. That's what puppies do. So our job is, at the times that they're likely to want to go, is make sure they're in a suitable place. So what I mean by suitable place is outside in a secure area. I would ideally forget about puppy pads or paper, just house train them to go outside, because that's where you ultimately want them to go. So that means your job is to just have them in the right spot when that behaviour kicks in. So when they need to go, they happen to be outside. They might do some few little behaviours just before to indicate that they do need to go, slowing down, sniffing, circling, going to a particular area, things like that you might notice, which will tell you they need to go, which is also important to take them to the relevant spot at that point. So like I say, if they have an accident inside, it's your fault, not the puppy's fault. That's really important. It just means you haven't been watching your puppy well enough, because they have no concept of needing to go outside yet. The other crucial things to remember is never ever reprimand a puppy for going in the house. And depending on how sensitive your puppy is on what it would consider reprimand, so never chastise them, as in tell them off. Never touch them, as in tap them on the bum or tap them on the nose. The old thing of rubbing their nose in it, I'm sure nobody does that, but that used to be a very old thing. That's not going to help either. But what can happen, and some puppies, like I say, are so sensitive that just, no, is enough for them to think, oh God, this is unsafe. They don't think it's right or wrong, but they might consider it's unsafe to go to the toilet in front of you or anywhere near you. And you do not want your puppy to start thinking that, because it means when you do take it outside, it won't want to go to the toilet in front of you, which can be a bit of an awkward thing if you're trying to be outside to praise them. So never chastise the puppy, chastise yourself for not catching the puppy in time. I personally don't pick them up when they're in the middle of a wee to try and get them outside. They're already weeing. There's not much you can do about it. You just got to be cleaned up appropriately and be more vigilant next time. So when they do get it right outside, it's important that you praise your puppy. You can tell them they're a good boy, good girl. Also give them a little tidbit. And this is the key thing. If it's raining, because you're standing outside with your puppy, you haven't just put the puppy outside because you don't know if they've gone or not then. And if you do see them go and then they come back in and you praise them, they have no clue that it's to do with going to the toilet. If you're outside with them, which like I say you're going to be, and it's raining and they go to the toilet, the biggest reward for them is to get back in the house. So they're still going to get the well done, good boy, good girl. They're going to get a nice little tidbit. So I tend to give chicken, sausage, something really high value like that, just little bits, and they get let back in. If they want to stay outside, being put back in would be considered a punishment. So I wouldn't necessarily put them in. If they like being outside, then this can stay out longer as their reward. But it's important that you're there with them, and you're also not distracting them too much. Don't talk to them, don't tell them anything. I put them also going to the toilet on cue. So what I mean is by a word that I use to get them to go to the toilet in the end. But ultimately they don't know that. Initially, they don't know that that's the word to go to the toilet. So when they're in the process of going, I started introducing that word, and I use the word hurry up. So while they're in the process of going to the toilet, I say hurry up, good boy, good girl, hurry up, good girl, hurry up, good girl, and then give her a bit of chicken. And then, like I say, if she wants to stay out, she can stay out longer. If she wants to come in, she can get brought in. If your puppy does happen to have an accident inside, make sure you cleaned up with appropriate things, so things that will neutralise the odour. That isn't normal disinfectants. They tend to have ammonia in, which can make the problem worse. Make sure that you cleaned up with either proper stuff for puppies, dogs for urine, or biological washing powder mixed with water will also do the same job. If they tend to choose a particular area, block that area off. Don't give them access to that area, because that's where your puppy's thinking its toilet is. And the more vigilant you are at making sure your puppy is in the right spot when it needs to go, what happens is that pathway of behaviour is formed, and that forms the least resistance in their brain. So that will be the automatic response that they do when they need to go to the toilet at some point. You don't know when that's going to happen. Some puppies might do that in a few weeks. Some puppies might take a few months. Just depends on your puppy. But if it has half a dozen accidents inside and half a dozen outside, or even a dozen outside, you're still fighting against that tide. You want to make sure no accidents inside, all of them outside, and that's because you've always made sure the puppy was out at the relevant times. I can't think of anything else. If there's anybody else has any tips or hints, that would be really appreciated. You can add them into the comments below. Oh, another thing, crate training. So if you cannot watch your puppy, you can lock them in the crate, but make sure that's not too long, because they will go to the toilet in there. If you have to leave them for a prolonged period of time and you're physically not there, so that doesn't mean during the night you're still physically there, you're just asleep, so you can set your alarm and get up and take them out at the relevant times. But if you're physically not there, and you're in work, you're out of the house, I would personally put a little pee area attached to your crate. So your puppy has a sleep area and a pee area. A pee area is outside of its crate. So I have, as you've seen in the puppy, I have that crate and then a pen with paper in it. When you're there, the puppy doesn't have access to that area, because you don't really want them to go in the house in the end. So the puppy only has access when you're not there. Then their blood will increase and they'll get the idea, and you'll get there. So if you've got any questions, just drop me a message, and hopefully I can help. And good luck with the house training. Bye for now.